Hey guys, MCU Collect here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Retro Vintage Fantastic Four. Here we have Johnny Storm, the Human Torch version, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive, will be the powered down Johnny Storm. And I'm actually very excited for that because then it'll have like the full team and all their blue and white outfits, and then have the option for the Human Torch in his Flame On mode. We did get one previous Flame On Human Torch. This is the Walgreens exclusive, so I will show a comparison with this one. There are some very clear differences between the two, namely in kind of the style. This is more of a classic Human Torch style look, which I think maybe you could pass it off as the original Human Torch from like World War II era and stuff, the Captain America stories and things like that. And then obviously for Johnny Storm. So pretty cool. Let's take a look at the package because I actually remembered to do this clip first. So we have the retro style ToyBiz inspired card, which is awesome. I really like it. The artwork, everything looks really great about it. Spinning it around, we look at the gimmick of the figure, which is going to be the swappable hands, and as well as like the fire little effect things there. We get the really cool artwork of Human Torch. All the figures in the wave. The only one we still needed to go over is the Mr. Fantastic. His bio reads, "Fiery and hot-headed, the Human Torch can burn through just about any adversity with a smile." I kind of like that one. There he is, Human Torch. Let's check him out. Okay, so here is the Human Torch figure out of the package, and he is a really fun one. I really like the translucent plastic that they used here, and I like that they went with a much darker coloring of the plastic. It is a very deep, like dark orange versus the very bright previous Human Torch that we got. We get some reused parts here, like this flame effect that kind of goes around his collar and back. The head sculpt is the same. The hands and forearms are the same, but then the rest of that is the all-new, all-different Spider-Man body. They did not reuse the Bucky cap, so that means we did not get these cool flame effect calves and feet, which, you know, maybe they could have done the feet, maybe not. I'm not sure how that really works when it comes down to the feet versus like the legs. You know, it's not like they could use these calves with these legs. They would have to use the entire legs, and I don't think it's going to be all completely patable, which is a little unfortunate because I actually really like those calves. But as it stands right now, this Human Torch is pretty damn awesome. I have always loved this body mold. It has been my favorite, so that is definitely a plus, but I think he just looks fantastic. No pun intended, actually, that time. Like before I would have said it, I absolutely would have meant it, and like, you know, because of the Fantastic Four, I did not mean that this time. But he looks fantastic. So let's take him off the stand. Let's get a better and closer look at him. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Human Torch, and again, he is fantastic. I really like the translucent orange. I really love and dig in the color because he kind of burns, which seems to be, for me at least, a hotter red or a hotter fire, seems like, compared to the brighter version. The brighter version's cool, and I love that we still get the Fantastic Four logo and costume design and everything, but man, I am really digging the colors here. You know, he doesn't feel gummy at all, so they're using a much better like translucent plastic than they had in the past. Much like the AOA Wave 2 Iceman being much better than the previous one. I don't feel any gumminess or anything going on here. But really cool. We get a little bit of those painted lines there up on his forehead, so that is pretty cool. I like that. One thing to note with this, with the translucent color here, is it's all like kind of the same color, whereas like these flame effects that he comes with, it almost looks a little two-tone, and I think that's just kind of how they do it in certain areas where it might be a little bit lighter. But as you can see, the fire is a little bit lighter, and then here, like it looks a little yellow in some areas. Compared to orange. So he does have those flame effects. We've seen these things a million times. And then he also has fists, right and left, because out of the package he has the flame fist for the right and then just the flame open hand for the left. That is the same hands that came with the Walgreens exclusive. There is no difference there. The forearms again are the same as well. But looking at it, I really like the painted line detail that they added on here. So you could see some of those areas. The way it was drawn in the comics, they would add those lines there to kind of give it a little bit of texture. Otherwise, you just have like this red, orange like looking dude with no detail on it whatsoever. Upper hips, thighs, then the calves and shins there. That all looks pretty good. Nothing going on in the back of the figure, of course. But again, this just kind of removes. You can take it on and off as you please. And again, this is a much lighter color of fire compared. It helps kind of differentiate and it helps get them to stand out. You know, if it was all the same exact color, you know, it'd look a little funky. And then even with the little flame effects on the hands, the forearms, and the head, they actually painted over the translucent color with this deep, like shiny orange. Normally I don't care for this, like the shininess of the paint that they use at times, but I think it works out well here and looks pretty good. It just helps kind of break it up a little bit when you have the translucent plastic to get a little bit of a solid color in there for the fire. One thing that I do wish they did, because yes, it's not the same color as the translucent plastic, so it helps stand out a bit, but one thing that the Walgreens exclusive did is they did some gradient like yellow in there to help get the fire to really stand out. I think that would have been really cool. They wouldn't have had to go like real light or anything, but just a little bit of color differentiation there I think would help get those flames to stand out just a bit more. But as it stands, he looks really good. So there he is without that back flame effect, and then you just add that on like so. And again, that is the same exact one as the Walgreens exclusive one, so we can pop that one off, pop this one off, and let's put this one on there and see how that looks. Not terrible, but I think, again, that's a little too bright there, and I wish they would have kind of done something similar. But if anything, this may actually work out really well there. So that is kind of cool. And then for shits and giggles, let's try a head swap and see how that looks. Probably going to look not good. Not terrible. Let's put this one, the darker one, on there. Yeah, not terrible. I mean, it's passable depending on what you might want to do, but not really the greatest. But let's see with that brighter orange and this much darker look here for Johnny Storm. And of course, I dropped his head. Okay, and there it is. And you know what? That's not terrible, because right around his collar piece, they did a little bit of shading of that darker orange that really matches the head sculpt there. So that's something that could actually work. You could do something like that, or you could use the flame piece from this new one on his back. And that could actually work out really well as there. The head was a different color from the rest of the body anyway on this particular Johnny Storm, so you could have had with the lighter head, then you can have it here with the darker head. So you can actually do a couple of those things, so that's actually not a bad touch. You want to swap pieces around a little bit, you can do it. Okay, so Johnny Storm's articulation, so he can look all the way down, as you can see there. Looking up is going to be a little bit of a thing with the fire effect. It kind of pushes it out, but I guess it doesn't really get in the way. So he can look all the way up, which is really good. You get some pivot going on in there. You know, he can get a little bit of attitude there, so that is cool. You can get the arms to go up that high and kind of up and out. Full rotation in there, upper bicep swivel. Before I forget, you get the nice butterfly joint that goes back really far. You get a decent amount coming forward, so you could do some cross body there, which is always nice. Double jointed elbow. Again, we got reused forearm, so we weren't going to get pinless or anything like that. You get a little bit more than 90 degrees. That flame effect does hit that bicep there, but it works really well. Wrist swivels, and it does hinge. Doesn't hinge back so much because that flame effect there is going to hit that forearm. There you have an ab crunch, so you can crunch forward that much, which is really good. You can go back that far, and then as you can see there, the lines do stop at that particular point. Waist swivel in there, legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that high, which is really nice. Doesn't really go back a whole lot. Upper thigh cut in there, double jointed knee like so. Very good bend at the knee. You do have a calf swivel in there. Foot hinges down. You get some hinge up, not a lot. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So again, a very nicely articulated body. Again, this is my favorite body mold there, because we get some nice points of articulation, namely like the butterfly joints. But let's see how he looks compared with alongside his teammates, the Fantastic Four, or Fantastic two others, because that's all I've reviewed so far. Okay, so from this particular wave, this is all I have reviewed so far, is the Invisible Woman and the Thing. But the thing about this Fantastic this Human Torch of the Fantastic Four, he can actually work with whichever team you want him to work with. So I think that's really cool, because you know, these other ones where you have the certain color uniforms and everything, this particular Human Torch does not fall into that, so he can work with any of the other versions that you may have. So if you didn't like this particular Human Torch, you can get this one. It'll still work with the Walgreens exclusive team. Or if you didn't like the Johnny Storm that we got in the black and blue suits, now you can have a Human Torch in its place. So let's see how this Human Torch looks with the other Fantastic Four completed teams. See, that works really well together. So you can have this Human Torch instead of the Johnny Storm, and it's like you wouldn't even notice. It's a perfect Fantastic Four team. So that is a nice touch. You know, if you just take them out and put your Johnny Storm in there, again, that swaps out quite nicely there. Or with the Walgreens exclusive Fantastic Four team there, he kind of swaps in and out, no problem. But again, this was also a flamed on version anyway, so that kind of works. We still do not have a Johnny Storm to match this particular uniform, but I do know that a lot of people, what they did is they used this particular Mr. Fantastic with the regular arms and used the Ben Reilly Peter Parker head sculpt that came in the vintage Avengers Wave 2 Scarlet Spider figure. So that is always an option there. Or you can also use this Johnny Storm head sculpt now on that particular body, and you could have kind of a Johnny Storm. I think that body is a little bit small, but it could work if that's what you really, you know, are looking to do. And so again, there is our Fantastic Four, and you could have swapped out the Human Torches and not really known, and now I can't get Mr. Fantastic balance because he was kind of leaning on that Human Torch a little bit. But there you go. You guys kind of get the idea. Whoops, disaster. And now we have the Johnny Storm figures all side by side, and they all kind of vary in height, it looks like. So small to biggest. So the Randy Orton Human Torch here from the Super Skrull wave. I do really like the powered down Johnny Storm, so I'm looking forward to the Hasbro Pulse exclusive version. I'm really excited for that one, so we can get the classic matching team, you know, all powered down. I think that's going to be really exciting. The Invisible Woman, the clear translucent plastic full figure, will be great. But this new Human Torch right now, he definitely is my favorite. I like the old school classic, you know, the black lines throughout. I did really love the fact that you could still see his Fantastic Four logo and stuff in this version, but this is definitely a really nice update using a better body mold, everything. So I am extremely happy with it. You guys let me know down in the comments below which one is your favorite Human Torch Johnny Storm figure out of the three that we have so far, or are you really looking forward to that Hasbro Pulse exclusive? Okay, and that is my review of Johnny Storm, the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four Vintage Wave. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this figure. Do you like it? Do you like the really dark orange that they went with for the figure, the much more classic look? What do you think of the black lines painted throughout? They're all straight, so they all look really good. You guys let me know down in the comments below all of your thoughts. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.